Good evening, everybody. Dr. Rao here. I hope you had a good day. We are coming off a very cold spell today, and it feels much better today than last night. But this is Iowa. What do you expect, right? Uh, we kind of learn to deal with the cold and enjoy the cold weather also in a way. Um, you're home with the family, and you are not out there shoveling snow. There is no snow, only cold. So altogether, it went okay. The deep freeze warning. Uh, the wind was really very wild, so we had to put up with that. Even the tight windows also they see through some of that cold. Okay, so we had to change our uh, sleeping arrangements and go where they really see we have borders exposed, two sides, this all open space. So there's more air that way, and then we kind of really deal with the cold weather. Okay. Anyway, I was busy preparing for my Saturday workshop on journey to holistic health and wellness. I was preparing people to uh, use some assessment tools of as to where they are on the journey of uh, being well to real wellness, and then really knowing how to evaluate their body, mind, the emotional body, and also spirituality and all that. Um, I will have fun because I like to present this kind of proactive things that people could do and help themselves. I have been doing that with my patients in the clinic, but now I have a chance to reach people beyond the clinic, beyond the borders of this, and really in the spirit of helping and giving ideas about how to be proactive about our wellness. See, current thing what is happening, generally people are busy doing what they stuff they are doing, and they may not be noticing what's going on under the shield, right? And then they will suddenly have these symptoms that they have to go to the hospital or the clinic to seek help. That's okay, but that is maybe sometimes we are missing the boat, right? So that's why being more aware of what does it mean holistic wellness, what does it mean to be well for a long time, how does it feel? Does it feel miserable? Does it loaded with a lot of medications? Does it loaded with a lot of outcomes that are poor from chronic diseases? And lots of times, people go to the hospital when the problem is acute and get the good treatment and all that. That's pretty good. ICUs, cardiology units, invasive technology, and trauma, infections, all those things we take care of, child care and pregnancy care and all that. But when it comes to chronic diseases, we kind of drop the ball because we kind of leave it to the patients to really take care of themselves and know everything else. Sometimes they don't have the time and also they feel good, so I should have bothered about. But with what we know now, how we can diagnose very subtle things, even at the metabolic level or cellular level, I think we should be using it more. Um, Doctors given and all the healthcare personnel given, they will be doing that if they have the reimbursement, if they have the time and all that. But at the individual level, I want to raise up the awareness that they can fix a lot of things very early. Even cancer detection also very early done, you have more chances. Like that, you review your family history, you review your genome history, and you will know what the diseases you can have 10 to 20 years down the line, right? And then you can fix them very early and you are better off. So this is proactive wellness, employing some proactive measures to be well for long and enjoy. So you can spend a very long human life enjoying your life, your relationships, your work, and all that just by being healthy. Well, okay. So my definition of holistic health is body good, strong, flexible, energetic, mind good, alert, aware, focused, and good memory, and then good creative imagination and all that. And not being stressed by mind, not being burned out by the mind. That's what is happening now. And then you should be having emotional balance, and then you should be enjoying your life. Okay, joyful life. And spirituality is the ultimate thing where you can find yourself without being religious. You can be a very kind, compassionate person, that kind of thing. So, to do all this, just evaluate where we are in those things and then use that understanding of what's going on within you and then go from there to fix some things like the four pillars of wellness, vital nutrition, and there's a proper thing to do, and also optimal exercise, sleeping quality, and then really calming the mind. So towards this end, I'm going to do a workshop on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Central. Okay, so I would like to see people come and participate at 10 o'clock and listen to the lectures and really assess themselves and also know the educational resources or the information up until 12 noon. And then 12 noon to 1 o'clock, we take a break and then we come back to 1 o'clock. And there we will do all practical things that we could do. How can you really understand how to build the strength and flexibility through yoga to your body? And also, how can you manage your energy better? And also, how can you manage your mind better? And how can you really understand what is the true knowledge and all that? And then experience this blissful feeling of turning inward and finding out ourselves, that kind of thing. See? I see a lot of burnout and stress because people leave the mind on its own and it vagabonds and then creates a lot of stress. You heard the old saying, mind can be your best friend or mind can be your worst enemy. I think more and more people are making mind their worst enemy because they don't know how to deal with the information overload and too much information. And people are really concerned about how to manage that. Lots of them, they may not know about that, right? So that is there too. So as we deal with this, this is going to be first of some workshops I'm going to do so that people are given tools to assess themselves and also to take some commonsensical, simple things on their own. But yeah, that's all more like a lifestyle changes I'm talking about. And then in discussion with their physician, they can formulate a better health plan down the line. So if you have some knowledge about health matters and then go and talk to your doctor is much better, right? Than just going and listening to whatever they say. So invest some time, invest some energy into those kind of proactive measures I'm going to talk about and then see whether they fit for you or you may be already doing it and that kind of. But also, how many people have the genome? You can order that now for a very small price. You will be knowing what kind of diseases you are prone for and what kind of serious illnesses that you may want to take action on, like that. Okay, or you may choose, I don't want to know about it, I will deal with it when it happens. That's up to you. Okay, uh, or you can have a cellular comprehensive chemical makeup, the hormonal, your supplemental need, all those things you can actually do and live better and for longer, and also with energy. So people like me who are into 65 and above, I'm 70 now, right? Above the January 18th, I think coming up January 18th, I'll be 70, right? Uh, how can they live? How can they have strength and mental acuity so that they can take on bigger projects and do and contribute to the life? You know, that's a special section too. And as much as I'm doing it, I will share that. So people who are older and they can have some kind of you know tone and strength in the body so that they can enjoy the things that they enjoy. Like I enjoy coming and talking about wellness and the planet, you can also enjoy like that, whatever you want to do, right? So that's kind of thing I'm talking about. Okay. So I'm here to just announce that and also tell you what I really want to do in that workshop and how you can capitalize on that information. And then if you are doing them, share with us. Or if you are finding this information new and that can be incorporated into your daily routines, do that, and then feed me back. I also will provide you information about how to be part of my wellness club, which is a monthly program, and then people can join. And I usually do very close things with them because they can bring in problems, and then we can see how naturally, with some yoga exercises, breathing, and mind control, you can make a difference in that. Okay, suppose you are a diabetic, by understanding how to eat, when to eat, what to eat, and also how some of the physical exercises and the breathing and the sleep patterns can help your diabetes for the better. That means your control, your uh, really not completely cure, but maybe get it down from the intensity. Suppose you are running very high blood sugars and you're taking a lot of insulin, or we can try something that may decrease the need of that much insulin, maybe a little bit, but it does happen slowly. So it's a question of small but permanent changes, right? So people are used to certain kind of foods and then they crave for them. So we help them with some things in the yoga that we do. So like that. I'm very much concerned about the chronic diseases that are proliferating in the United States, and so much energy, so much time, so much expense. All these are a kind of suffering also. There's so much suffering. We can cut down on all these things. We can cut down the suffering, we can cut down the money, we can cut down the time and energy and all that. Okay. Many times people allow these things to go on worsening underneath. And they may be treating symptoms, but they are not going for the root causes of their illness and really investigate and do that. Some people do that, but not all people. Okay, this is kind of a, I want to make it more like a important lifestyle changes that they understand, and then they do him like a intelligent, um, you know, state of art people that they can do that. Who can do that? For example, the technologists, the IT people, they want to elevate technology as you know all resolving and whatever. But then they forget about what are the problems that technology brings to our mind, to our attention, to our health. Okay, there is some warning, but many people don't know, right? So we want to talk a little bit about that. The best way to take advantage of this workshop is come and pay attention in the first 2 hours, ask all the questions and assess yourself. And if you want to participate with the individual questions, that would be better to understand all that I'm talking about. And then work it out in the afternoon session. Bring up your personal problems if you have no objection, or just ask generally, like, what about back pain? What about sleep, like that? And then I will be providing some things, and then I would like you to pursue that with me on the wellness club, which I have, which meets in the morning and in the evening every day. That something you can do it with me on Zoom, where I can personally direct you how to do certain things. Basically, there are important understanding about our human anatomy, physiology, and all that. But when you look at it in a yogic point of view, where they describe up to 5 layers surrounding our inner cells, made up of body and made up of energy, made up of knowledge, and also made up of our insights into the understandings of it. And then what is the root cause of all this body, that kind of thing. If you change your lifestyles, you can impact on the epigenetics, which are genetics on the surface life. You can change them. Thereby, even if you inherit type 2 diabetes genome, you don't have to necessarily manifest it into disease. Okay, that kind of thing. We are at that crux of where we can use the modern scientific breakthroughs and ancient wisdom. Okay, anybody who is friendly here with me, they have heard me talking about that, which I live. That's why I'm telling you, and which I live both ways, and that's why. See, I'm not resistant to the vaccine. I took the vaccine, but at the same time, I know how to improve my immunity by doing certain things. That's what I do. So they like that. Okay? So we don't have to be fixed to one thing and say the other thing is wrong, but we can study. We don't have to accept just because somebody said. Go and research it, go and find out more about it, discuss with your um, healthcare professional, and then do those things. That's the safe way to do. Okay, so my job is to really inculcate the interest in this approach, in that holistic wellness and for the long time, and also how to live joyfully our life, that is whatever is left. Okay, that kind of thing. So I'm trying to work very hard on that, and this is the beginning of my movement for this. And I hope many people come. It's not going to happen in these rooms. It's going to happen on the Zoom, so that whoever comes, even 4 people, 5 people come, that's fine. I can really see them, and I can interact with them more like a live thing. Okay, I have done this before, wellness summits a couple of times, and really give them some special classes on breathing and meditation, on exercises themselves, all that. Okay, that helped some people, and I'm happy about that. Okay, so this I'm going to do a little bit more, because we have not really advertised wide, but we can put it a little bit in the main platforms, and some people will come, and then we will do that with them and see how this goes, and improvise next time. Okay, so you have any questions on that regard, or on the wellness itself, come up and ask me. I'll be happy to share whatever I know. And if you really curious about this, taking the best out of scientific medicine and also ancient wisdom, I think you'll be very, very happy that you have these insights that you could use safely. Okay, so I've been working on giving out some forms for assessment, and also giving out some sources that you could go and investigate, and also share some of the uh, real uh, uh, maneuvers that from the ancient wisdom that can work for you, in your life. Suppose people don't know uh, diet and Ayurveda's relationship. You'll have a glimpse into that, because all these things are big sciences, inner sciences. So you can't learn all of it in a second. Right? Like how can you learn the entire coding thing in a day? You cannot. So what I'm hoping for is just to elevate the awareness and consciousness, and give the personal plan to as many people as possible, so that they can go and discuss with their physician if they want to, and then implement them. It's basically commonsensical thing. A lot of things you may not have to even talk to your physician, but don't do anything drastic. This is not about overnight change. This is about starting the change, and then small changes, but permanent. Okay? Remember that small changes you do in your lifestyles that are going to be permanent. What are the difficulties? What are the advantages? what is the best way to do that? Not you may not be doing that just because you heard one day. You have to write them down, you have to think about it, and you have to incorporate them into your daily life. Then you will see uh, benefits of it slowly. Suppose I say, oh, change your diet. Everybody knows that, change your diet. But what kind of diets are good? What kind of diets I should go and consult about? What kind of diets I can adopt? How do I deal with my taste mechanism? How do I deal with my psychological attachment to food and all that? Those things, some of them are special from yoga, you know. So if you can understand that, and then it's really difficult to begin to in the beginning, but you be kind and nice to yourself and take your time and implement small changes, but always approach, okay, this is going to be a permanent change. Suppose I want to be away from the white rice, I did that writers is changed and then permanently. Even some occasion happens, I may take a little bit less than I used to take before. So, or I will put with more vegetables and fruits and eat the small rice. That will be okay. So like that. I wanted to reduce rice consumption. I did a permanent change. But that kind of awareness, that kind of doing things with intelligence is needed. Okay. Otherwise, these chronic habits dictate you, and chronic diseases will get worse, and you will be paying for it by reduced age and also lifespan. And your energy goes down, you will be suffering and the complications of it, and so much money goes into that. And biggest thing is you suffer. So that's what I wanted to change. Okay. I hope I made myself clear. Uh, Anybody has any question, or you are all just listening, or is there anybody there? No? I came several times today so that I can um, invoke interest and curiosity in what I'm trying to do. Uh, More like a simple thing, but still, it's coming straight from me. I'm not sending you a draft or something. I'm going to interact with you directly, and hopefully, bring out the changes that will help you in the long run for your holistic health. So a lot of people, they eat whatever they can get sometimes, or they don't have the time and they grab something from the McDonald's or whatever. Those are fundamental, right? We want to change. But then, how do you change them? How do you suppose you have a small glass and then put in all the carrot pieces, celery pieces from broccoli, and all you put it there, and then you also pack some salad dressing on something and then put it in a bag and take you to the work, and then when you feel like having a snack, have that instead of some processed food. Okay, so that's very practical. People may be doing that, but then if you want to understand what are the energies, what are the bioenergies in the foods that we could use, and then that can help our feelings and also thoughts, and also our awakeness and all that. So there's so much in the ancient way of looking at diet as a medicine, and if you understand that and if you follow that, that itself makes a lot of change. Like for example, you are doing as a player, you are playing some football outside. How can you make your muscles not to go and to get this cramps? How can you make it more flexible? And then how can you make it stronger? How can you enhance the whole thing with the breathing? Okay. You can attempt to do all those things just like that, but you will not stick with it. There's a system, there's a understanding, and then once you understand that, it's like a technology. Okay. Science of yoga is philosophy, but technology of yoga is actually doing it. So many things are there to do, and if you can do them, that will be in the afternoon session. Okay, 1 to 3 o'clock. Okay, my time, Central Time. Okay, so we may give generalities or we may assess. Depends on people who want to understand their own problems and get help from this kind of approach, then they can ask me about it and we can do that. Otherwise, I will do generally how do you deal with your immunity, how do you deal with your general inner resilience, how do you bring it into your regular life, and then incorporate that. That's the way the difficulty is, because the culture may be elevating processed food and eating a lot, and culture may be promoting sedentary living and not really moving about a lot, and also keeping our mind always occupied with so much of nonsensical information, which you kind of put it like your mind is a dustbin, and then you have to take the dirt out. I'm sorry to say that, but that's what is happening. So so there are 21 people here. Nobody has any interest or any questions on this. If you have them, come up and ask me, and then I'll be encouraged about it. I want to do a good job on this workshop, and if you participate and if you ask me questions, I think more stuff can come out, and that way I feel like I have delivered what I wanted to. I will do that anyway, but it doesn't have to be only one way. People interact in the workshop, that will be much better. More information will be there. I have a lot of resources I can give to you, but I don't want to overwhelm you. But what is relevant to you? You have problem with eating, problem with exercise, problem with sleep, and problem with mind management. These are the four pillars I always cover. Okay, I call them as pillars of wellness. Each one is a big subject on its own. There are so many dietitians, so many physical therapists, so many psychologists, so many sleep specialists are there. But then there is a wisdom that is beyond these people sometimes, and then they may be restricted with a lot of restrictions on their careers. So for me, finding out the real essence, the meat of the ancient wisdom made a difference for my health, okay, my patient's health too. But anything you don't want to adopt all of a sudden. You want to gradually work yourself in. That's where you need somebody, a guide, really taking you to different steps like that. Okay. It seems everybody's quite still, like the night in the Iowa here. It's very still. Oh, finally somebody's come. Okay, my friend coming, Peter. That's not surprising. He always comes and supports me. So, thank you, Peter. Namaste. I can always count on you to come up and ask me a question.
I literally just got home. I was on the road. I was into
Yeah.
Deeper Planet, and just got it. Of course, I tuned in. But here we are. So I'm not really privy to. I just see Dr.Rao chat. So the last 5 minutes or so, just coming up. You know how I do because
Yeah, I was giving them what I'm trying to accomplish in this workshop, where they can really look at their own thing, whatever they are doing, and then if I could add something, that would be wonderful. And most of the time, people don't pay attention to the health. Actually, it comes last. First they want to work, they want to make money, they want to take care of the family, and all that. And many times they think I can push on, right? That's not a big deal. So when diseases are brooding in you, that's when you want to catch it and then prevent it. Kind of the roots of the illnesses. You know what I mean?
right. Mm.
A lot of it is because of the mental turbulation too. A lot of people don't realize that. So if you have constantly worrying about something, and that kind of disturbs your sympathetic nervous system, and you have stress hormones, and they have this chemical reaction within you, which actually damages even simple angry or rage reactions and all that. They do that. But people don't know how to pay attention to them, how to not to react so easily, because sometimes they are caught up in this limbic loop, and before they realize, they react. See?
Right. And you say in that constant state of reacting, but not only that,
Yeah,
cortisol are just always
yeah,
in a high state. And you
yeah,
know better than I do that
yeah,
this we just have it
yeah.
come about
See,
immune
many
system.
people don't realize, Peter, that they are enhancing that reactive mechanism by reacting all the time. So, understanding that and then limiting to really, okay, it just comes. Why do I have to get the problem? I can really solve the problem and do that. If you can employ that kind of attitude, lot of times the damage you do otherwise will be diminished. You know?
I mean, you can probably have a whole talk on that all.
Yeah, yeah. But encouragement is, yeah, I don't have to discard,
Everywhere.
yeah, scientific medicine.
Right.
I don't discard ancient wisdom. I
Hmm.
can understand intelligently what is good in both systems and then
Right.
bring the integration together. Because this tendency I see, the people who are very healthy with yoga or Chinese medicine, whatever, they kind of look down upon the contribution scientific medicine has made. Okay,
Right.
so
Right.
you got to take, for example, this genome I'm talking about. This genome, I kind of embrace that. I want people to, especially they have a very bad illnesses, all that. But generally, we're going to come to a stage where everybody knows their genome and they understand what are the diseases they are going to be prone for 10,
Right.
20 years down the line.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then if you want to change the lifestyles, not only the root cause, but also you change your epigenetics. The genes that are going to manifest otherwise with environmental stimuli, that is taken off, then this epigenetic is also modified. And
Mm.
that people don't know that they can really write their own fate, kind of.
Right.
So, I mean, people are not aware of it. They will be aware of it pretty soon. And then, but meanwhile, you are getting a lot of challenges from the technology, the attention deficit because of the information overload. Digital toxicity is real because people,
Right.
yeah, they don't pay attention till late. And then they say, oh, I shouldn't have been with my phone so much. I shouldn't have been with a screen time so
Right.
much and all that. You see? So,
Right. And not only just the um, information overload. I think it's just bad. It's like junk food. It's like what you
yeah,
consume.
yeah. That 90% of the information is really junk for us.
It's junk food for your brain, and you're
Yeah,
ingesting that,
yeah,
and you can't have a good outcome that way. So you really have to
exactly.
eat. You
Yeah, you have to eat properly. You're making a very good point. That's really true what Peter was saying. We have so much material thrown at us, so many impulses thrown at us. Sometimes we don't have time even to evaluate them. Come back, Peter. Okay. So that's a very important thing because I wrote thesis on the information overload and I have been living with this since 2008. Yeah, go ahead, Peter. Well, you're making a very good point about that.
I was going to say it's kind of like sweets or like junk food, and
Yeah,
you get addicted to that,
yeah,
and it's that sugar high. Well, it's that junk food information high,
yeah,
and just because they're talking about manifesting,
yeah,
just because that 15-second clip says
yeah,
you should meditate this way or talking about
yeah,
chakras and all this other um,
yeah.
otherwise really good thing, good stuff, doesn't mean
Lead,
it's good
yeah,
for you because the way it's presented
yeah.
is horrible.
Yeah,
It's
this is not
it's like
miraculous. Yeah, these are not
no, it's a
miraculous stuff. This is a gradual, consistent
yeah,
practice. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Yes.
and it's a rhythm of life. Like
Yeah.
you talk about like living your life, how
Hmm.
we guys
Yeah.
consume our food, right?
Yeah.
How we should chew it and be mindful eating,
Yeah.
and it's the same way with anything that we're
Yeah.
ingesting in this case technology, right?
Technology. Yeah.
And so we can't like logic doesn't
Yeah,
allow for us to take in one
yeah,
thing and have a completely different result. It
yeah.
doesn't happen like that.
I will. I will
It's
tell
like
you.
trying to send water
Yeah,
in a straight line through a crooked hose. It just
exactly,
can't happen.
exactly. That's
It's not
very
gonna
true.
happen.
Very true. I will tell you a secret, Peter. I am one of the earliest adopter of any technology,
I
medical,
believe it.
non-medical,
I am
but
not surprised. Yeah.
I am independent of them. See,
Yeah.
that much I watch because I don't want it to be overtaken me in my mind. So
Right.
that's why I'm studying very carefully what is the AI, what is its capacity, where it is going, how we are trying
Right.
to control
Right.
it. That's a real issue, big deal down the line. But all the ancient system talk about attention, how important it is an attention for anything, right? And if you follow that, no technology, you will live a very fulfilled life. But you can also enhance life by using technology correctly.
I think it'll be hard pressed to find 100 physicians, and I really mean this, and I don't
Yeah,
say this just to flatter you, 100 physicians that have
yeah,
both sides of the coin taken
yes,
care of, and extensively too. I mean, you're a
yeah,
scientist,
yeah,
but you're also a yogi, and
yeah,
like the way you mix them both
yeah,
is amazing. And you said like some of the ancients and stuff like that, or those who practice, don't really accept
yeah,
a lot of the technology and a lot of the stuff
yeah.
that you're
They,
looking at. So it's a very rare thing. You really are a very rare individual. That's
yeah,
really cool because I
for
knew
me,
somebody out there.
truth, truth, Peter, truth
Yeah,
in science and truth in ancient wisdom of the inner truth. So once you don't miss both of them. We have to eat, we have to move, we have to think, we have to sleep. That's all external thing. That's fine. But then, what about what is going on within you? Your neural capacity, your reactive capacity, your emotional capacity, all that makes us human being. It's not one particular thing. So when I combine both of them, I come with that holistic viewpoint.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's common sense. I look at like a common sense. It's not a big deal because the people who are inventing, discovering, they are doing the big deals. The rishis who have invented all that, they have done it. They are all there in front of us. Why are not we using it? That's my attitude. And then usually my patients appreciate that because I make them think, I
Yeah.
make them be aware, I make them do a lot of homework. Sometimes they curse me lovingly, you give us so much homework. uh,
Yeah.
but then they appreciate because one thing they saw over the years as they're coming to me regularly, they were not going to the hospital like they were before.
Yeah.
They were not visiting the emergency room like they were before. And their functional capacity, emotional intelligence, all those showed a little bit improvement when they are doing these things.
Right. Right.
Individual difference are there, and some people can do a little, some people can do a lot. But a lot of people, I encourage them to be responsible for their own wellness. Don't give it to somebody else, even to me.
Yeah.
But you be responsible. You kind of know what is going on in the health field and the sciences, and also what was there in the ancient times where there were very neurologically stable people. They don't
Right.
have stress and burnout. They had a good relationship with the nature. All those things are simple things that we can do. And a lot of people don't have the time as they think, but it's not that. It's a question of your interest. What do you want to do about it? That kind of thing. It's a kind of perspective change. Without being forced into you got to adopt this religion. You have to be this national. That's all nonsense. This is already tribal thing from in my view. That's why we are one earth, world citizens. We have the panoramic knowledge from ancient times to modern times of science. Take whatever good for us and then live a good life here and now.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I was thinking about today when you were talking about Iowa and you have a lot of farmers in your population that you
Yeah,
serve. I have a picture in my head that they may be, and I could be wrong, they may be a little more receptive to what you'd say on both sides of the coin, then maybe.
Yeah, they have to be schooled because when I first came in, I came from New York, right? I was trained in New
Yeah.
York and I came to New York here because I want to be close to Chicago. I love Chicago, you know. So, so I wanted to close to it. This opportunity came on, and then once I joined this group, within a year, I had so many patients build up for myself, and also I
Yeah.
want to do my style of medicine, so I split from them.
Right.
My contract says that I have to pay them some money, but I can stay, no restriction to stay. So
Yeah.
I paid them, I stayed there, and I
Mhm.
continued the practice. Initially, they used to say, "You're the doctor, you tell us everything."
Yeah.
But I had
Yeah.
to work with them and tell them how it is good to know what they are. I used to ask them, "Do you change oil in your car?" Yes. But do you know what needs to be changed within you? They don't know.
Mm.
So they kind of
Mm.
gave a platter of everything. But
Yeah.
then I began to lecture on this. I think HIMSS lecture I had done in Iowa City one time. Like 400 people came there. And then I was telling them, physician and patient are equal participation in the care of the
Right.
patient. And everybody said, "What is that? You're giving the power away. What power is that to make money on the blood of people?" Okay,
Yeah.
I was very controversial that way, but then I didn't care because that is the truth. Suppose my grandfather is there, how would I treat him? The same
Mm.
approach I took to my patients who are my extended family, really. And
Right.
that's
Right.
also common sense, no big deal about it. I think everybody should do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a business, it's a kind of real care for the human being.
Service. It's a
Yeah,
service, and
it's a
like you were saying,
service.
Dr. Around service,
Yeah,
it truly is service.
yeah.
And yes, you're allowed to make a living at it, but you still have to have a heart to serve.
Yeah,
Right.
that's it. That's missing because lots of times the burnout physician, when they come, that is the that's the mark. I tell them, how service oriented are you now?
Yeah.
Because when I do the service orientation, I get immense satisfaction because I don't look for it, but that is what happens. Because I feel good that I try to relieve the suffering or try to increase his understanding or anxiety, whatever, right? So the more time I spend there with the patient, the more easier it becomes to manage him
Yeah.
because they know
Yeah.
what's going on, they know what can they expect, they know what they can do, and they really cooperate very much. That's one of the secrets about being very communicative with the patient is not to hide anything, but tell them slowly, make sure that they can absorb and provide the support and then review the diagnosis. There's a sensitive way you kind of work with the diagnostic information giving, right? But
Yeah.
once they get it, they cooperate with you, and it's much easier to treat them.
Right.
Simple
Right.
thing,
You've made them part of
yeah, part of that's
the
it.
wellness journey.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Patient experience, patient
Yeah.
participation is very key in my care. You
So
see?
important. So
So
important.
important because everybody, whether they learn something or not, they are hearing better or not, you have to take more time, more patience to explain them. Suppose
Right.
somebody comes and then they have difficulty understanding me because of my accent. Immediately, I get my medical assistant or somebody, and then they come and then I take time to explain to them what I wanted them to convey, and then the girls tell them and make sure it is understood and repeated back to me. Simple
Right.
things, simple. There are very simple things, Peter. If you can do that,
Mhm.
all that requires some care and compassion for the patient.
Isn't life potentially like really simple?
Yeah,
Like
it
don't
is.
you think like life is pretty.
Yeah. They said uh, the things that we do, most of them time this like a uh, the most uncommon thing is the common sense. I think we lose the common sense. I think that's why we are always going a tangent because we are caught in the neural network of the mind
Right.
and take
Right.
it wherever it was. But I have the blessing of awareness. Be in awareness first and then think. So there's a I won't be driven by
Yeah,
my own thinking in the past and all that, because I have come to the present moment with the one look or one breath.
yeah.
Actually, every breath, Peter, what happens with me? Every breath, I have the sensation I'm not this body in mind. When
Beautiful,
every breath I feel,
beautiful.
that is ingrained in me.
I love it. You know what? I have to get there. I have
Yeah,
to.
you
I
will,
have to.
you will, you
I
will.
have to get that.
Yeah,
I,
anything I can
I've
do,
been.
anything I
Yeah,
can
no, I've been
do.
practicing, like I showed
Yeah,
you.
anything I do, Peter, any
Mm,
of our friends can do it.
yes, I
It
know.
may be a
Yeah,
little or less effort. Somebody may do faster than me. Somebody may do slower. But the important thing is really coming to this understanding every day in the morning.
that sets the tone for the whole day.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
important.
See, there is a big lesson in Bhagavad Gita. This Krishna tells Arjuna, when you get up, your past thinking tendencies, they all come out. From that
Right.
lower mind, you have to evaluate actively, consciously to the higher mind, which includes everybody.
Yeah.
Then from selfishness to selflessness. So if you do anything elevated thinking in the morning, it is much more crystallized.
It's so much more crystallized.
Yeah,
And I tell you, that I got to tell you, Dr. Roy, that really changed my life, dude. I did more than a few years ago, and I
yeah,
stopped with the breakfast habit. I do not eat breakfast,
yeah,
and that alone, like, really changed. I listen to my body. I feel like I get that earned hunger right around the noon hour usually,
yeah,
and it really, listen. It's changed my life. It really has. You
yeah.
know, it was a real game changer.
Mm.
Um, Really learning how to eat scientifically, I
Yeah.
guess, or eat, only
No,
100.
follow your hunger.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a cardinal thing we have to do. And then
yeah.
allow. See, the people may body has its own intelligence,
Of course it does.
and people think I'm going to operate from my desire, from my will, and then tell body what this is very sweet, this is nice. Though I'm going to enjoy the psychological experience. That's why I want to force feed when the body doesn't want it.
Yeah,
That's where you really have to understand what is pratyahara. There's a yogic measure of really withdrawing the sensory, uh, whatever is coming at you, and then keeping it there. Suppose you look at a leaf, and leaf is beautiful, it's coming in, it can generate a line of thinking about it. Oh, this leaf
yeah,
was like that, this is compared to that. No, resist that, let the impulse come, and when it is touching and the stimuli is happening, be aware and don't let that happen. Then you can control the taste.
yeah, yeah.
You're not driven by the taste, but you are controlling the taste.
You control the taste, and
Yeah,
you learn to distinguish
yeah,
between earned hunger, like I call it, and
yeah,
appetite.
yeah.
Appetite is not a natural, like appetite and desire for continuous sweets and stuff like that, and even
Mm.
breakfast. I'm sorry to say, it is. But the thing is, we don't know what we don't know. And like I grew up, eating breakfast every morning, those sugary ass cereals. It's not even really food. Like if
Yeah,
you look, if you're like Captain Crunch and all that stuff like
yeah.
that,
That is the
I
junk
hate.
food. That
It's junk. It's
yeah.
crazy. But I mean, parents are more aware today than they were when I was coming up. But still,
But
we just keep.
at
Uh,
some time, the Americans have this oatmeal tradition.
yeah,
Yeah, that was
yeah,
there too. But the cereal thing is a real robbery of our energy. Really, I don't want to scold it, but it is worth the scolding, that junk food.
You mean the oatmeal itself?
No, no, not oatmeal, the
No,
cereals.
oh, the cereals are
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah, sugary cereals. They are really, and they put those kind of animal figures and all that to
Right.
attract the kids. That's really cheating the kids for a long-term benefit of that. So it's a kind of uh, unfortunate we are slept through all that. Even eating meat and potatoes for centuries, they were constipated. American history, there is a Michael somebody. He wrote a book on this food, a very expansive book on American diet and how it has evolved, what are the problems. it was very informative to me, who is interested in the history of food in America, right?
Right.
So for centuries, the people were constipated very badly because they're only eating meat and potatoes.
Right.
And then all the vegetables were introduced. See, from the time I came, meditation, jogging, eating salads, fruits, and now really mindfulness and all that, they have evolved and taken root into the culture.
Right.
All I'm doing is really going to the deeper and trying to use them properly for what they are meant for.
Yeah.
Because I did physical yoga only in the beginning when I didn't know the depths of yoga. Then I
Right.
introduced the energy part of it, which is the breathing. Then I introduced the mind part of it. All these things have really enhanced me in the yoga practice, even though I do the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a question of understanding the technology part of the yoga and also really getting the philosophy of yoga. If you do the technology, most likely you will feel
Mm-hmm.
better in your physical body and also you
Right.
will feel relaxed in your mind. But if you understand the science part of it, of the yoga, then you will have a real inner peace and
Yeah.
very good mental health.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we have the Dr. Rows of the world
Yeah.
to help us get there. I'm serious,
Yeah.
I really mean that.
Yeah, come and
And
participate in my workshop and let me make it a beginning of this. I will do several of them down the line, but at
yeah.
least I will have format and I will have improvements and all that made. But at
Right.
least people know how to assess their health, how
Right.
to reach out for the sources, and how to do them practically with me in the afternoon session.
Right. Yes, of course. That's Saturday at
Yeah,
10 Central,
Central,
right?
11
Yep. I
Eastern.
got the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for sending me the link. I did get
Yeah,
the
I
invite.
even sent to my friends because I thought at least these people will have kindness to come to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I thought,
Thank you.
yeah, I thought I should invite you guys. So you are
Thank
participating
you
with
so
me.
much.
Yeah, sure. And then we'll go from there. Okay.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a beginning of what I want to do. I want
Hmm.
to encourage everybody to go to those kind of knowledge bodies, scientific and also ancient, and
Yeah.
then investigate further. In that, I can tell them what my thing was, how I went about it, and what I understood. That way, it may be easier for some people, but some people may come and tell me what they have understood deeper. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
that kind of thing. Yeah. I'm
Good
sure
balance. So,
you are one of them. You can come and tell me about a lot of things, but I can also tell you about the recovery process in yoga
of
way.
course. Of
And whatever
course.
appeals to you, you can take it. Like for example, I am not addicted to anything, even with my thoughts.
Right.
People can be
Right.
like that. That's not a
Of
question of
course.
special about me. People can be like that. That's my point of view.
I'm like that now. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not completely like that, but I mean, like the thoughts,
yeah.
I struggle with that, but like especially in recovery, they say, in the
Mhm.
12-step programs, um, they say, it's a disease that has no
Yeah.
cure, which is absolutely impossible.
You
Just
remember my
not true.
mantra
It's
about
not true.
thoughts not being addicted?
Yeah,
What is that?
I forgot.
Okay, let me tell you then.
So,
Awareness in the morning,
right. Oh yeah, yeah.
attention, awareness in the morning, attention through the day, and vacating the mind before sleep.
Vacation. Yeah, vacation. I remember to sleep on vacation.
Yeah,
So I
do
associate
that.
with
Do
vacation.
that, and then you see the change within a week.
Right.
I mean, it's difficult. Don't force yourself. Be kind to yourself, but then do that as a habit. I'm going to be aware. I'm going to in the moment. I'm going to be with the life around me, and then whatever I do, I will take this present moment to the work where I'm paying attention to whatever I do, one step at a time, and do that
Yeah.
as much as you can do, and then come back in the evening at the end of the day, review the day and also empty all the things, including the trivialities, non trivialities, then write them down and you are better off. Yeah, doing that, that's why I'm repeating to a lot of people so that they can really uh, do them, because what happens, Peter, our previous tendencies dominate us in the morning, all of us, so we want to be aware of the present moment and push those tendencies aside, not violently. Simple thing is, what is happening this morning? How is the life? Be touch with the life, and that really puts those tendencies not to come in and dominate us. And that is a very big deal, because your tendency may be 90% strong and your awareness is going to be 10 strong in the morning, okay, in the beginning. But you really coming to that will takes to 20, 30, 40, like that, otherwise you are always dominated by your inner neurological pathways that are already formed because of your habits.
Because your habits. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. The recovery, this is very important, because you get the impulses from within to indulge in the whatever behavior you are addicted to. To push it aside, you have to really repair and unplug those neural pathways that were formed.
Yeah.
It's not a willpower, it's a question of that neural networks problem that comes to you more and more. So you want to be careful about the information you're absorbing or you're
You.
spilling out, so that information is going to take its own pathway through your mind. It's actually physically cortex is formed.
Yeah.
We take advantage of this in the neuroplasticity because we know the mechanism. So we want to encourage good behaviors and then get the benefit of it. Like I want my left side to work. That's how I did it. And then we really giving new pathways way at the expense of the old pathways.
Yeah. And that's just so fascinating. I just
Yeah.
find it so fascinating.
But this was known to yogis, Peter. That is the thing. They know about this, but they didn't say neuroplasticity, but they said creative new brain,
Mhm. Yeah.
complete perspective change, complete generation of thoughts. And then they say what that do they have was they had this capacity to calm their mind and be silent and allow the new things to grow out of the
Yeah.
silence. That is not there in the modern life, because we think we can think all the time, we want to think, and the people are there in this app also, think, think, think. That is very good,
Right.
but they
Yeah.
don't understand what they are doing to their mind. So I had to point out compassionately, gently,
Of
silently.
course. Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what
a
I'm
good
trying
approach.
to do. I don't want to blame them. If only you don't know what you are doing, how can I blame you?
I 100% agree.
Yeah,
I 100% agree.
yeah,
So it has to be taught with gentleness, love, and
yeah.
information. And a lot of times change is not always the easiest thing. And then when you
No.
realize, when you come to realize that, man,
Yeah,
you mean the government and the television,
yeah,
they've been lying to me all my life.
yeah.
They've been deceiving me.
That's a
That's
conditioning happens in all
that's
societies.
tough.
Yeah,
That's tough to awaken from
that's
that. And
exactly true. You
that's
don't
important.
underestimate the neurological pathways power. They are
Yeah.
electric, they are right away, they are sweeping, and they kind
Right.
of, however willpower you have, it is nothing compared to the power of the established brain with habits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
So important. All right, my friend, I'm gonna
Okay,
hop off here. Namaste. I
okay.
appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to Saturday. I'm sure I'll talk to you before then.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay, my friend.
Peter. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Dr.
Okay.
Rao.
So, anybody else want to say anything? You can come up now. Otherwise, I will take leave and I'll see you back again tomorrow morning for sure. And also, meanwhile, if somebody comes up, I may come up and say some things. Uh, but I'm trying to promote this workshop as much as I can. Here, at least if few people come, even one person comes, I'll do the same thing anyway. But hopefully, I'll have the chance to serve you all, and I'll see you there. Thank you.